I got Josh Ridlett. Oh no, Ridditt. Sorry, Josh Ridditt, right? Ridditt.
Josh Ridditt. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's a crazy surname. It's cool.
Oh man, my last name, no one ever says it right. Kovshov. It's like it's Koshkov, Kovashov. I've had it all. I played football back in the day, and the announcers always got my name wrong, so I'm used to it. So you run a company called Easy Crypto Hunter. Obviously, it has nothing to do with mining at all, based off what's behind you. Yeah. I just wanted to bring you on the show today because, as you guys who've watched me for months and actually probably years, over a year now, I've told people don't get into mining. If you had a $5,000, maybe you should put that into crypto. A lot of people over the last year have felt that's true because they've seen Bitcoin and Ethereum's difficulty increasing and it becoming less profitable. So the average person out there is like me and thinks it's not really a great investment. But Josh has told me I'm potentially wrong, and he's going to give all the facts today about why actually it can be very profitable still. And yeah, so let's welcome Josh. Thanks for coming on.
Hey everyone. Hope this will be a bit interesting for you. So yeah, I mean, this is so like as you said, Joel, I own a big company here in the UK, based in Manchester, in England, called Easy Crypto Hunter. So we're one of the largest GPU hardware providers in the UK. So we provide a lot of the GPU equipment to a lot of individuals, business owners, farms, that type of stuff. From an individual mining rig that you can see behind us, to large shipping containers that we can send around the world, full of mining equipment too. So we kind of do the whole shebang. And then as a kind of consequence of that, we have a consulting company that we help with a lot of stuff in the blockchain space, and also the UK's first cryptocurrency accountancy firm, because no one understands how to tax the stuff. So we're trying to help out our customers with that as well. So we kind of do like a full 360. But mining is primarily kind of the bread and butter of what we do, and that's doing quite well for our customers. Yeah.
Awesome. I have a question while you're on that. So you were saying to me the other day that mining is still profitable, and I was saying to you how Bitcoin has gone through the roof. It keeps getting more difficult, and people that have normal small rigs aren't making any money anymore. And I was like, ETH has similar problems, and you were like, maybe, yeah, that's kind of true for some things, but you said not for others, and there's a lot of other coins to mine, and maybe I had it wrong. So maybe enlighten everybody about why I'm wrong, and maybe or why I'm right and also wrong at the same time, and what is the right way to do it potentially.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just like everything, I'm sure a lot of your viewers and listeners will realize that the blockchain and the crypto space is really, really big, and it moves really, really fast. So the problem is when it comes to mining, people firstly don't understand really exactly what that is. And they don't really understand the different types of mining that you can do. So, if you YouTube, cryptocurrency mining, 9 times out of 10, it's going to show you some massive warehouse in China where there's just thousands of ASIC machines at an industrial scale. And obviously people just go, well, that's not for me. So fundamentally, people need to understand the difference between ASIC mining and GPU mining. They're totally different things. So in a nutshell, an ASIC machine is a specially designed block of metal, a dumb, stupid machine that only does one thing, and it does it very, very, very well. It cannot do anything else. So coins such as Bitcoin are obviously mined with an ASIC machine, dominated by Bitmain in China, which I'm sure a lot of people will have heard of. Absolutely. So the most powerful Bitcoin machine the most commonly used at least is the Bitmain S9 miner, the Antminer S9. And when you see these videos, that's 9 times out of 10 the machine that you'll see. No one's talking about the S7s or the S8s, because the way that it works with an ASIC machine is because it's just one chip designed to do one thing. As soon as the next machine comes out, it's multiple times more powerful than the last one, and people literally throw their old ones away. I mean, it's a silly horsepower race, So the S7s and the S8s, where are they? They've gone. Everyone's using the S9s. Right. But here's the thing. So Bitmain has just gone through a big technological change where they've developed 7-nanometer chips. So soon, we've had the S9 now for 14 months, 15, 16 months, like a long time, a long run for that product. Whereas historically, the S6s, 7s, S8s was maybe a 4-month life cycle. They upgraded very quickly. So the reason for that is this change between nanometer chips. So when we get the S10 finally come, there'll be a big difference in power. Well, then subsequently, we'll also probably have the S11 and the S12, in a fairly short time period once that technology has been refined.
Mm-hmm.
So ASIC mining is generally now for the larger commercial operations where they can afford to potentially take the risk of, we'll make our money back in 3 months and risk throwing the machinery away.
Right.
Which is typically why it's put off a lot of people, rightly so. Because, yeah, it mutes. Sorry if a call comes in. So, so if we have, you know, a Bitcoin ASIC, and then you buy one and I buy one, then we're all competing for the same difficulty. The difficulty goes up. The technology is moving forward really quickly, and you know, to all intents and purposes, we're a large mining company. We don't recommend ASIC equipment. We don't sell ASIC equipment to our customers. That's not that we won't ever. It's just that right now there is very little to no value proposition in buying an ASIC machine as a normal consumer, because you know, it's a one-trick pony. It's got no resale value. The machinery is competing against one algorithm, and the technology moves super quick. So, you know, your electric bill in a lot of instances is just outweighing your profit. And subsequently, this is why people think mining isn't that great. Now, that's kind of the overarching logic as to why people think it's not good. Right. And then that logic kind of seeps into GPU mining. Right. And now everything I've said there is pretty much true if you've bought GPU equipment to mine Ethereum. Now, you have to look back at historically, 18 months ago, when everyone was building mining rigs, such as the ones behind me, everyone was chasing Ethereum.
Right.
And the primary card, the best card in regards to the best hash rate for your book, was the AMD RX card series. So people using the 470s, 480s, you know, 580s, 570s, those cards. You know, that was the cheapest card for the most hash rate. And everyone was using that to mine Ethereum, and people made a lot of money 12 months ago doing that. But again, the problem is even though GPUs as a type of hardware can mine loads of different coins and loads of different algorithms, and in theory you can use that same machine to switch between coins. Right. The problem is, and this is where people misunderstand the argument, is that there's, say, maybe 10 cards in the world that are profitable to mine on with GPU right now. Right. The RX cards are kind of near the bottom of the power. They were just very, very good for mining Ethereum. So what happens when everyone's on Ethereum, the difficulty goes up. But the way these cards are physically made, yes, technically they can mine other coins, but because of the way they're built, not at any type of financial viability. So for example, Raven coin is an extremely profitable coin to mine, which I'm sure I'll talk about soon. You know, that's on an algorithm called X16R. You know, one of these 580 cards might get 7, maybe 8 mega hash per card if you're lucky, whereas a 1080 Ti will do 25. Right. You know, there's a monstrous difference. Yes, a 1080 Ti is maybe 2 or 3 times as expensive, but you get 5 times more hash rate on certain algorithms, 5 or 6 in some instances. So people ultimately that got into GPU mining believed they had a certain amount of flexibility. But in actual fact, the hardware that the majority of these things were, such as, you know, Genesis Mining was a big example. They offered a GPU solution, but their cards were the AMD series. They weren't using top-end NVIDIA cards, which ultimately are built differently and have a much wider span of flexibility. Right. So where we are in the market now is all these people that we hear about turning off mining rigs are pretty much the RX cards that are competing to mine Ethereum, because they can mine other things, but not really that well. Yeah. So what we're left with is people like myself. We have only ever sold top-end equipment. We only deal with 1080 Ti's. We do the very kind of top-end stuff. Yes, it's more expensive, but with that comes a complete different level of flexibility, where ultimately, you know, 1080 Ti is to all extents and purposes the most powerful card for the most algorithms out there, full stop. So wherever the market goes, you can jump straight to the top of the tree. And with that comes extra capabilities such as AI deep learning. You know, you can use these machines to do AI computational algorithms and get paid for it. You can get paid for doing render tasks on the blockchain. You know, it really becomes the ultimate Swiss Army knife of the crypto world, whilst retaining a really good chunk of asset value, because these are the only cards in the world that can play 4K games for gaming rigs and computers. So, you know, you kind of have a very good, you know, level of support there for external practicality. Whereas the 480, 580 cards are pretty middle of the road, low to average gaming cards, and there's thousands of them. So they just, you know, drop value like a stone. So ultimately it's it's two kind of different arguments, and people don't always see the advantages of this stuff because the average miner was never using 1080 Ti's.
Yeah.
So the average miner doesn't have great things to say about mining anymore because they weren't actually using this equipment. So subsequently never realized those advantages.
Right. It's because everyone was chasing the dollar and it was cheap to buy those.
Yes,
so
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Now they're getting wrecked because they bought cheaper equipment. If they bought 1080 Ti's, you're saying maybe like a year. When did they come out? A year ago?
Yeah, about just maybe 18, 19, maybe 2 years ago now. 1080 Ti's, yeah, have been out a while. But I mean, the amount of power that they have is crazy, you know.
If you had bought them then of course it would be like very, very profitable for you.
No, crazy profitable. Yeah, like silly profitable. So yeah, I mean, it's just that. I mean, it's just the misunderstanding of people were chasing what was good at the time, but didn't foresee, you know, the market growth and the change of where that would be. So ultimately what I say to my customers is, look, if you're going to spend a good chunk of cash on equipment, why would you not buy the most powerful, most flexible bit of equipment on the market if you're moving and consciously moving into the world's fastest moving space? So, you know, what people then go is, oh, well, aren't those cards going to be brought, you know, aren't there going to be new cards that come out next week and make those ones defunct? Well, no. We have seen the new series come out from NVIDIA, you know, the 20 series of cards, but the way that they've designed them is, you know, so the 2080 Ti, the new card that's coming out at the moment, is literally twice the cost, but only 35% more powerful. So this is the big advantage about GPU mining, because the primary purpose of graphics cards is not crypto mining. It's designed to sit in a commercial space. You know, NVIDIA aren't Bitmain. They're not throwing out new products every 5 minutes and making crazy money. They have a 2 or 3 year product life cycle. So when you get yourself a 1080 Ti, you know, say you bought one 18 months ago, you've got a good few years security of that being a real top product.
Absolutely.
So actually, you end up with a much bigger window.
It's like buying a name brand product. So like if you buy, like I live in Thailand, and if you buy a Beats by Dre from the side of the street, yeah, it might sound okay, but it's not really going to do that well for a long time. They'll break. But if you buy the real Beats by Dre, you know you're going to get better quality sound. It's not going to break as easily. It's higher quality. Probably, you know, 1080 Ti is probably better warranties and stuff because they're more expensive.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you know, so for example, I mean, I was very surprised. I mean, we've sold a lot of equipment. We've never to this day had a card fail that's gone to a customer, which is crazy. I thought we would have done, to be fair, just through sheer number. Of
course.
But actually, you know, we've had a few that have been dead from the factory on arrival. But you know, in regards to, obviously we test them and then send them out to customers, they're all good to go. But I mean, you know, in regards to the kind of performance over time, it's just been really quite exceptional. So these things are built very well, and yeah, subsequently they carry a bit of a price tag. But ultimately now, you know, to this day, after 18 months of buying one, if you bought a 1080 Ti RRP on release, you can still to this day sell it for more than it was bought on the release day, which is insane.
Yeah, because of all the mining going on. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's another reason why some people haven't got in, potentially, because of the cost of that, like to get started.
Yes.
Yeah,
and we're very clear about that. You know, the rigs that we sell behind me, they are expensive bits of kit.
Absolutely.
You know, we sell. You know, you're talking over $10,000 for a bit of equipment.
Of course.
Now that sounds like a crazy lot of money, but actually, it's not when you break it down. So, what's your alternative? Throw $10,000 at Bitcoin. Now, of course, if Bitcoin doubles next week, you're going to make way more money faster, for sure. But if it halves next week, you've got no control. So what a lot of people like to do is they'll go, you know what, I really want to be in crypto, but I also like owning a physical asset of some description.
Right.
So if you buy a machine like the one over my shoulder, all of a sudden you've got, you know, so the majority of my customers, just to give your viewers an illusion, we have a bunch of kind of domestic customers, you know, the average Joes that just want to get involved. The majority of our customers are business owners. So they're not crypto companies, but they might be, you know, they might have a property developer firm, or, you know, the business owners have business money lying around. Right. Buying a mining rig is an extremely tax efficient product to buy through a company. So over here in the UK, because it's just computer hardware, because, you know, it's proper computer components, you can get your VAT back. So that's 20% of the cost back to the business.
Right.
And then, of course, because it's just a computer, you can write that down through your books and your accounting, and your accountant, as you know, you've got depreciation and all the tax advantages that come the same as you would if you were buying computer hardware for a business. So before you know it, that top end price comes down very considerably, all whilst owning, you know, if you were to sell those components and just scrap them on eBay, you know, each one of those cards is nearly £800 each.
Right.
So before you even know it, you retain a lot of asset value. So then it kind of comes down to, well, what's your financial risk? And it ends up only being the little chunk in the middle. So by the time you've had the machine mining for a few months, you're kind of covered, because worst case scenario, you could just sell the equipment.
True.
So when people, you know, think that you've got, you know, 12 to 18 month payback periods, one, that's an incredible payback period for traditional investments anyway, let's be clear here.
Yeah.
But actually, the true return on investment is much less than that, because you always own the equipment that you could sell. So you just need to cover that bit of depreciation effectively.
True enough.
So when you start kind of analyzing it, you know, logically, it becomes a very, very safe option.
Yeah.
And these are the type of benefits that we try to explain to people. Because, you know, if you buy coins in the market, you know, I buy coins, we trade coins, we're in the market as deep as anyone can be.
Yes.
But by buying coins, fundamentally, you're backing one horse.
Right.
Whereas if you buy a mining rig, these top-end GPU rigs, to put it in perspective, it's about over 810 coins you can mine right now.
Wow. Well,
so that machine behind me is the most powerful bit of equipment to mine over 800 different cryptos in the world right now. You know, and it grows every day as new coins come out.
Right.
So instead of backing one horse, you've effectively bought the whole racetrack. You win on any winner. Like, I don't care which mineable coin's doing well, because I can switch to mine it, and then even if it's a teeny tiny little crappy coin I don't really believe in the future, I can mine it, sell it, trade it into Bitcoin, ETH, or whatever I feel more comfortable.
Right.
You know, so my logic is why would I spend loads of money on, say, you know, ASIC mining stuff, chasing Bitcoin, when I can spend, you know, other money on something that retains its value better, chasing the smaller coins, make more money, and then sell into Bitcoin if I want to hold Bitcoin. You know, so
I did mine Ravencoin for the last, I think it's like the whole year, and they're laughing.
No, they made silly money. Oh yeah, as we did. So our official company kind of advice, because obviously, once, mark my words, it's only a matter of time before we're mining, you know, Disney coin and Pixar coin, rendering the next big blockbuster Marvel film, because all that CGI and all the graphics that are in the film takes huge amounts of power. They can get that done overnight on the blockchain with all these graphics cards knocking around. So it's not going to be too long before, you know, mining rigs, as we are now in the crypto world, effectively become distributed blockchain power and are used for all sorts of commercial applications.
That's really,
and that's, you know, that's kind of where the future of all this is going, and that's what's super exciting about it all.
That's awesome. So one thing that a lot of people talk about, and I'm not one of the people that say this, but a lot of people say that, you know, mining is really bad for the environment. I kind of agree, but I also think other types of are also just as bad. What's your take on that? Is there stuff?
Yeah, so there's two kind of really interesting answers to this. So one is, well, it's kind of that funny question. Yes, it is. It's the worst thing that's ever happened for the environment, and also the best at the same time.
Right.
So we have to put this in perspective. So right now, the blockchain space is using a crap ton of power, and let's get it straight, that's not good. No. But what is it building? So we are very much now in the rip the plaster off, you know, rip off the Band-Aid, the painful pinch before the good stuff. Right. So what you got to remember is all these middle services. So the blockchain, what is it's going to be? It's implementations for shipping, insurance, distribution, food, wastage, all third-party facilities in the middle where there's waste is going to evaporate when blockchain becomes commercially integrated.
Right.
So the amount of parcels that will get misdelivered will reduce. The amount of people that need to work and travel to work to do this can do that remotely. Like the amount of ancillary middle waste that the blockchain will eradicate will multiply massively any detrimental effect of the initial power consumption initially. So I'm very happy using power now, knowing that it's going to be probably the single greatest reduction technology for carbon emissions in the future. So that's kind of one thing. Second thing, weirdly enough, this week actually here in England, I was keynote speaking at the Solar Panel and Expo show. So it's a big national exhibition about solar and renewable energy. Now, here in the UK, similar to lots of places around the world, the way that people that have renewable energy monetize that is by the governments or local areas giving them a feed-in tariff for producing a certain amount of energy. Now, in the UK, as well as a lot of other places around the world, the governments have kind of slowly reduced those incentives. So now it's not really financially anywhere near as exciting as it was 5 or 6 years ago. But, you know, there's all these people with huge solar arrays. You know, even in England down south, we actually have a lot of solar power and big farms that have a lot of solar and hydro and wind and such. So you're a farmer, you want to monetize a field, you're looking at putting a solar array in. And at the moment in the UK, you're getting maybe 5, 6, 7 pence per kilowatt that you generate.
Right.
Okay, so you've got a 20-year payback period, something stupid. Now, what happens if Josh comes along with his crazy mining machines? Instead of selling that 1 kilowatt to the grid at 5, 6, 7p, you can mine on that with your mining rigs and earn 50, 60, 70 pence per kilowatt.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I was speaking at that show, and all of a sudden everyone's there. You know, it was really funny to me because there was like businesses there that had like little robots that clean solar panels to help increase efficiency by 5%, right? And I'm there like, I literally have a solution that offers 800% profit. This is crazy, you know? So we had a really, really big uptake at the solar show. We've got a lot of big meetings coming up now with solar and hydro and electric and renewable energy sectors, because ultimately, you know, I want renewable energy. It's a great thing, you know, who doesn't, you know, if we can save some carbon, awesome. But, you know, I'm a business guy, and let's be straight about it. No one's going to care about saving the world unless someone can make money somewhere. That's the harsh truth.
That's true.
So if I can offer a mechanism for people that incentivizes that type of uptake of energy, fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean,
you know,
solar energy, they haven't figured out how to actually store all the extra energy that gets lost.
This is it. This is it. One of the big things at the show was batteries, and they're stupidly expensive. You know, so if there's a way that you could use the energy in a more productive manner financially, it makes the whole project much more viable.
Absolutely. That's really, really cool. So, yeah, I guess that's probably all the details about mining that most people would want to know. And is Bitmain ever going to go down? That's a big question I have. I personally think Bitmain is doing their IPO because they don't have any more money because they've been making all these machines and no one's buying them right now.
Well, it's not because they're not buying machines. It's because they've backed Bitcoin Cash.
Yes, they did that too.
That's their financial mistake. They published the records not too long ago, and they own an incredible amount of Bitcoin Cash. So they basically made a big decision there, and at this point in time, it's turned out not to be a good one. Will the future change that? I don't know, but there's a lot of people that think maybe the IPO is to kind of keep the cash rolling through because they sat on so much Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. Like if they sold it now, they would take a huge loss from when they actually bought it too. So, yeah, I mean that's the kind of cool part in the space too. I mean they didn't mine. I mean they did mine a lot of their Bitcoin and switched it over.
Oh. Yeah, no, they mined all that stuff. I mean, that's the thing. So, yeah, I mean, they design their own machines, they mine their own machines, and then they sell their own machines and then keep their own Bitcoin. I mean, they've got a good business. I'll give them that. You know,
absolutely.
They're very, very smart guys. I mean, you know, I do respect what they've done an awful lot. I mean, you know, there's arguments for, you know, well, then does it become centralized? You know, if there's one big manufacturer doing this and doing that, and you know. I don't blame Bitmain for that. I blame other big tech companies not getting into the space to give adequate competition.
I see all the stuff that your points are very valid. Absolutely. It's like if you're a too marshmallow type of person, which most investors are, they don't they don't think about tomorrow or take the marshmallow and eat it right now. They think, oh, I could have 2 later, so I'll just wait and see how it goes. So that's definitely it. People who want more instant gratification will probably trade, I would assume. But yeah, like you're saying, you could do both, honestly.
That's the thing. Yeah, you know, for sure.
Your house isn't hot. Did those produce heat as well?
Well, yeah, this is the thing. So they do produce a bit of heat, but I mean, just for example, I mean, all of those things are, and there's not actually too many here because we've just rotated the stock this week and got them out the door on Fridays. We send everything out in the morning. But the rigs that we've got testing for customers next week there, we have Obviously, in the office it does get a little bit warm,
Right.
but it's not, they're on full tilt. It's not like, you get these, like I said, if these were ASIC machines, I'd practically be on fire, and I'd also be deaf right now. We couldn't have this interview.
No,
So,
couldn't.
you won't even really be able to even hear those things. And if you can, it's the desktop fans that we've got circulating the air.
Right.
So ultimately, people's misconceptions again about the physicalities. Now that said, at scale, they do give off, quite a nice amount of heat. So what we're actually working with now is we've just done some deals with, manufacturing companies where they put in rigs in like a big rack, like you can see behind me, maybe the corner of their warehouse. And then instead of paying £1,000 a month to heat that air volume for their staff, they now get that for free. We're actually working with councils over here, and looking at kind of more commercial entities, sports centers, hotels, anywhere where there's a large air volume. Now with a product like this, you have an opportunity to get paid for heating an airspace, which is an incredible proposition.
That's huge. Yeah, I mean, heating a house costs a couple $100 a month at least, more. So yeah, that would definitely be another return on your investment as well. Yeah, it's good.
There's a lot of ancillary advantages. Yeah, for sure. People, so for example, at my house at home, back where Mum lives, she's like, "Hey, Josh, can I have a couple of these?" And she sticks one in the conservatory for when Granny comes round, and she has one in the kitchen that keeps the kitchen warm. Like, through this winter coming up now, we just won't have any heating on in the house because we've got a few rigs dotted around, keeps the place warm, that it's not a problem, and it saves hundreds of pounds a month there too. So, you can be very, realistic to, because it is, just stick it in the corner. You can put this stuff anywhere where you'd be comfortable leaving a normal computer on. So when people say mining's dead, look, we can talk about Raven, but, there will be a coin right now as we have this conversation that will do what Raven does in 6 months. And you can mine so much, you might be mining $3, $4, $5 of it today, equivalently, but in 6 months' time, it's $100 a day. Like, with every fiber of my being, that is the case. It's just a case of which is that coin, So these opportunities really do exist. And that's the beauty about this type of equipment, because whatever that coin is, this stuff can do it. And that's what's really exciting. That's kind of a bit of an overview.
No, I mean, it's been enlightening for me because, like, I did research, and I don't know if the 1080s were something that were in my research, but when I was doing
this is the thing, yeah. I mean, if any of your guys go now and they see this interview and they go, okay, I'll check that out. And if you Google anything about crypto mining, everything you hear about it will be negative.
Yeah.
For sure. But you have to remember in what context that is. It's because people are not using the 1080 Ti stuff, the top end cards. They're all using the older equipment, which quite frankly now, if you have an RX card, if you have any of that mining setup that was designed to mine Ethereum, in the UK, in America, in Canada, it's literally not profitable. Your electric costs more. Yeah. So that's why people are pissed, rightly so. But what happens if you have a card that's twice as expensive or 3 times as expensive, but 6 or 7 times more powerful in an algorithm? Then you've got that 3 times profit at the top.
Absolutely.
And what happens when you extrapolate that over months, and then something like Raven kicks up nicely, and then it doubles or triples all of that 6-month gain? That's where you get these type of returns from. I truly believe in a 5-year period, you're probably going to have to apply for a mining license.
Probably. Yeah.
Because the government, when it recognizes it as official currencies around the world, they're not going to go, hang on a minute, well, you've got a machine that's making money, legit. Like, they're not going to let that happen, I don't imagine. So I imagine, maybe now to 5 years' time is the golden window where you can gather a crap ton of crypto without needing a potentially multi-million-dollar license, who knows, to kind of see where that takes us. So, the time is now. This is the Wild West, and there's some opportunities for big wins and some big losses. But I mean, between all of that space, just be as honest and transparent as you can, and ultimately, move forward, get as much crypto, and keep people entertained, bring them in the industry as best you can, and together, I think, hopefully, we'll figure it all out.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of people bashing each other in the industry, and it's kind of stop, actually. There needs to be more conversation and less trolling in crypto, and people need to stop thinking that they know everything. And I think that the people that thought they knew everything are kind of out of the space now because they were in it for the wrong reason.
Yes.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I've gone to like 5 conferences and spoke at 3 recently, and literally I'm just like shocked by how much actual intelligent people that actually care about the space and want to improve it, not just care about the Lambos and the Moon Boys, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I mean, and I get that all the time. We'll go to a show, a big crypto show.
Yeah.
We'll be on stage speaking, and we'll get like crazy amounts of people come to our stand after the show, and they'll go, "I've been in crypto all this time. I thought I knew loads of stuff. Like, how did I not realize mining was profitable in the UK? This is crazy." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because people don't like it's a thing, you know, and it's kind of just it's so nice to kind of show people what's possible."
Absolutely.
You know, the same way I'm sure you do with trading. And we get that all the time. You're like, oh, you're an idiot. You know, you meant to own the company and you're talking crap from the stage. Mining's not profitable. And we'll go to a website and they'll plug in some numbers and they'll go, oh, your electric bill's this and the cost is this. And they'll send you a screenshot and they'll go, you're not making any money, dude. I'm like, well, yeah, maybe that's because you've not overclocked the cards, you've not undervolted the cards, you've not got the right equipment, you haven't figured out what the sale price of the coins would have been at that day. You've not taken into account this many factors. But of course, you know everything because you're a guy on an internet forum, right? So
Of course.
you get that with every sector, and it's just really nice to kind of just be like, look, it's confusing, it's complex. You know, that's how we started this discussion. You were like, dude, you can't make money mining. What's going on?
I did. I mean, I said
but you came from a point of inquisition and, you know, interest rather than you're an idiot, which is the way that we should all move forward in this space because
it's too easy to
no one knows everything.
It's too easy to bash someone. Like for me, because I'm an educator, I actually want to know, like, if mining was profitable. That's why I said, like, we should have a call and do this and have a live feed or have a recorded session so I can spread that knowledge on other people. Because like I said, I don't know everything. And mining is something that I haven't dug into because there's just too many areas of crypto to dig into, honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know a damn thing about technical analysis and lines and charts and graphs and, you know, is it a little biggie triangle? I don't know. I don't care. I trade fundamental analysis. Like I look at like who's in the team, what's going on, you know. And the thing is actually if you know mining, like I can predict where the price of Raven's going just through watching the mining difficulty.
Right.
Like, so to put it in perspective now, since Raven took off this last week, mining difficulties increased 600%, 6 times.
Damn.
But the coin price has only gone up 4.
So
I'm like, well, I know we've got some room yet, you know, and it automatically forms a bit of an artificial price floor because now it's so much harder to get your hands on coins, you know, and you can kind of take into, you know, there's a lot of tangible factors that you can make you logically understand very well where the price of something's going. You know, so I kind of trade and invest in the space based on these things, whereas you'd be able to tell similar information from looking at pretty graphs that I have no idea about.
Yeah, I mean, both are definitely things that you should use. I mean, when you trade, you should use TA and that. But if you're trading, if you're not really trading and you're more investing, like I call something like if you're going to buy something and hold it for 3 months and then see how it does, that's more of an investment in my opinion. Whereas trading is, like, you know, you're going to hold it for like 7 days, 3 days, 5 days, like 14 days usually, and that's enough. Or you maybe hold it for a month thinking it's got really good fundamentals. Like, for example, SC, Coin, they had really good fundamentals. They have some big stuff coming. So I think you can actually mine C-Coin actually. And that's those coins that like I saw fundamentally was going to go up. And then obviously technical analysis followed. And then it's like, okay, it's going to do really well. And this month it's up like 30% or so. So yeah, there's definitely fundamentals are huge. But you should learn some technical analysis. It's good for you. You
probably should. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean,
combine them. I think you'd be even better, even a better trader potentially as well. It's just,
for sure. I just hope in my head, I'm just like, you know what? I'll just get some more mining rigs and I'll just make more crypto and then I'll worry about it.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to.
I'll just generate more. I don't know how to trade it. I'll just make it. I'm good at that. That's fine. Yeah.
Man, that works too. As long as we can make it. And we can make money. It's all good. So yeah, it's great. Thanks a lot for coming on, Josh, and you know, and getting, you know, the education out there for many people that probably thought like I did that it's completely unprofitable and there's no, why would you even do it and waste your time? But no, it is actually profitable and does actually have some other smaller benefits that people may not think about, like heating your house, and doing AI and stuff, which I literally had never been told by anyone before you said it. So that's also pretty interesting. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you have a business to run, to come and meet with me. And hopefully when I spread this message out, it'll enlighten some new people and enlighten me. So thanks again.
Yeah, no problem. No, thanks very much. And hopefully this was helpful for everyone. And yeah, so thank you very much for the time, Joel. And I wish everyone the best.
All right. Cryptocurrency education with Coach K. See you guys later. Hope you enjoyed this episode with Josh and mining. If you want to learn more about it, go to
.co.uk, yeah.
Yeah, so go to Easy.
Or you can get us on Facebook, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Easy Crypto Hunter on Facebook. We've got a page there too.
Search them up. You know, if you want to ask more questions or anything like that, you know, Josh seems to be very keen to answer your questions. He was keen to answer mine. So give him a call. Go in, check it out if you're in UK, and get some education, learn some stuff. I just did.